Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more intensity. My name is the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops, my wife, the love of my life,
Hi.
and the best person in the world.
Aw.
What's today's episode about, Cheesy Loops?
Today's episode's about what you do when you lose your friend. Alright.
Got a bunch of snacks for me today.
I
Goodness gracious,
did.
she's just snacking me up.
Well, I got customers who love me and they give me presents, and so I just share the love with all the peoples.
Yeah, you got good customers at your store.
Yeah.
Well, it's not quite your store, is it?
Oh, stop it!
It's Karen's store. Anyway,
I got the Funfetti Chex Mix.
it was fun
It was fun
and colorful, but not as like, what's the word?
It's very
full in texture. It's like a very minimal texture too, and low sweetness.
I don't know if it was this or all the Muddy Buddies have this, but it had this like film.
I think all Muddy Buddies have this minor film.
Okay. This one, it tastes good. It tastes really good, but I was just not impressed with it.
Yeah.
So.
But the pizza flavored Chex Mix was really good.
Pizza flavor Chex Mix is really good, especially like garlic,
Mm.
like overloaded garlic piece.
Like bread crunch, yeah.
Ow.
Well, all right. What happened last time?
What happened last time in Caught Again? Well, Frelick.
It all happened pretty quick.
It did happen really quick. Frelick catches the boy and Draylen, saying that if you try to teleport away, I'll just put you in a cell with the special device he had. And
So
they kind of grappled together, and the three of them teleported away into the cell.
because Frelick got his hands on the boy,
Frelick got his hands on the boy.
and then Draylen cleverly lies a bunch, trying to keep things from happening so quickly, and it happens anyway. And Draylen almost gets the boy before Draylen rips down the bars and runs out and stops him.
And then Draylen and Frelick kind of fight with their teleporting powers.
Back and forth between the place, or the jail cell, and
An
island that Draylen had never seen before.
Until, Frelick's trying to teleport without Draylen. Draylen's trying to get back to the cell. Until Frelick actually wins that little fight.
But then Draylen knocks him to the ground. Boy gets disconnected from it and gets Frelick to leave him alone, or at least be scared of Draylen.
Well, Draylen gets left alone on the island.
It makes you wonder why he didn't just crush everybody. But then again, the boy was there.
And, backup was arriving.
Yeah, he knew they were there.
So
we can get on to the chapter.
Alright. Chapter 20. Rokai's Land of Plenty. The boy landed on the ground. He sent out a thought. Tresca, help! But he was out of the vial of mind. He looked around helplessly. He sat there in misery until a voice said, "Don't be concerned, little one." The cat with glowing eyes brushed up against him. "Just know if my own eyes are lit with this ring, then Draylen is alive." The voice stopped crying. In its mouth was a vial of mind. It dropped it in front of him. "If you don't believe me, then just take this, and you will be able to speak to him in Tresca. But until you are ready...
Until you get better with magics.
But until you get better with magics, you may not be able to talk to them unless you see them." The boy drank it greedily. Tresca walked through the giant entryway that was empty a moment ago. She stood before them. "The man tried to take me, but Draylen," he started. "Where is he?" She thought back. "Gone. The man took him away." The boy stuttered in her hands. Shuddered?
Nope, stuttered.
Okay.
With his hands, I guess, maybe a better way of saying it.
Oh, with his hands.
His hands weren't quite being smooth motion, to make it clear.
Yeah,
He was
but
stuttering.
he's been talking in his mind.
His hands. No,
Okay.
no, not this line.
Okay. That's fine. And yeah, it's a his hands, not a he hands or her hand. "I'm sure he is fine. He is a strong man with a job to do. We will see him again soon, I'm sure," Tresca said, relieving the boy some of his worry. Nathaniel was with Force and Flo. They are granting him a pass to the team. They began walking back to the town. We need to go meet up with them. We're heading to the land of plenty. We need to talk to Rokai before we can go anywhere else. They met up with Nathaniel, Flo, and Force. Force was handing Nathaniel a piece of paper. They'll be suspicious, but that is their way. The people are loving and kind, and they have every right to be suspicious. Trust them, and do not start a fight. Good thing Draylen isn't with us. He'd probably start a fight, Tresca said, walking in. I'm sure I said that wrong. Hold on. I'm sure if Lady Tresca of Love is there, no one will fight, Force said, catching her in an embrace. We will miss you. Be safe in your travels. A baggie full of the powder of creation appeared in Flo's hands. Never go hungry, she said, hugging her closely. How could we possibly have any problems where we're headed to a place? Oh, sorry, I read that wrong again, too. How could we possibly have any problems when we are headed to a place called the Land of Plenty? Nathaniel said, shaking Force's hand. Flo looked at the boy. If we see Draylen, we'll send him the way you went. Farewells being had, the team got ready to leave. They walked out and took an unfamiliar turn. Are we going to the slip ring? The boy asked with his hands as they turned. I don't think the bridge could take it, Nathaniel replied, his hands doing all the talking. They came to the outskirts of the city, fencing all around the edges of the path. At the end, he saw a bridge spanning a rather sizable gap. On the other side was a tower. People were all buzzing around them. It was exciting to go to new places, explore the world, but without Draylen, it was scary to the boy. The bond they had formed ached. When they came to the bridge, Tresca walked over to the edge with him. The river was not far below them, as he had gotten used to it. Okay. The boy saw several small creatures swimming in the river. They leapt out of the river to get a snack. The boy marveled at the wonder. Nathaniel walked ahead. The boy looked back and saw him talking to some guards on the other side of the bridge. The boy turned his attention to the river. A man was walking on the beach. He flicked a rod again and again until a fish nabbed it. The man struggled relentlessly until he received his prize. The fish was rather large. The boy thought that if he met Draylen again, he would like to do that. He looked at Tresca, who seemed to be distracted. He nudged her to get her attention. She looked down. Yeah. His hands asked, what is that man doing? He is fishing. It is simple. Take a rod and acquire some strong string. Apply the rings to the rod, feed the string through, and then apply a hook to the end. Place some bait on the hook, and then toss it in, or you can flick it like that. Gentlemen. Her hand moved a lot more fluently than ever before. He was grateful for her knoll. As if summoning her, he heard her voice coming from Nathaniel's direction. She was crying. The rebellion has taken heavy casualties. Apparently Rokai has entrenched himself in his mountains. He set traps. So many dead. Marcus is getting angry, but he is wise. He's holding back until you guys are ready. Maybe you can help us get in, or get in yourself to talk to him, and hold back the traps. Head back to Force and Flo. Tell them to regroup with Marcus. We'll go talk to Rokai to see if we can help him realize the mistake they had made all those years ago, Nathaniel said, finishing with, stay with Marcus. He is wise. She looked at the boy. Her smile beamed through the dark fog of sadness. She ran to him as he ran to her. They caught each other in an embrace. He put him back on the ground. Her hands moved. Are you well? Are they treating you well? Are you learning from Nathaniel, Tresca, and Draylen? They came out so quick, all he could think about was how much he missed Draylen. Draylen is missing, his hands said with a frown. What happened? Where did he go? She asked aloud, concerned. He tackled Frelick when he was trying to take the boy, Tresca explained quickly.
Oh, that's right. I keep thinking the boy says that. He says that. Go ahead.
She winced. I've heard horror stories about that man. If I see him again, remind me to thank him. She returned her attention to the boy. If you meet him again, stick by him. He's a good friend. Now I must go back the way you came in order to help the rebellion. I'm sorry I can't stay longer. She gave him another big hug and then took off the other direction. We need to get to Rokai. He put traps for only the rebellion all over his mountains. Are you ready? He asked the boy, offering his hand. The boy took it, and then they crossed the bridge to Rokai of Plenty's island. Island or land? Okay. That's what you've been calling it the whole time, so I was.
I was trying not to repeat it, and it's the name of the chapter. Speaking of which, I'm going to the top and just.
Well, I feel like that fits to keep saying that because there's a point to that.
That's fair.
Where.
I agree.
Like, yeah, we're repeating it, but
you don't hear it much after this because you go in there.
But you realize how plentiful it is, and so all these
I mean,
times.
that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see how it's all come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is real important.
But as far as any fixing goes, there was a few spots where I'm like, we should.
A few more chapters before any of that happens.
Yeah.
Or is it next chapter? It might be next chapter, actually. Never mind. I don't know. It's been too long. I'm only 4 chapters away from A View from Above being done.
Ooh.
It's a short book, though.
It is.
Not a short story. It's a short book.
Okay, scroll down because I didn't really see much issues up here.
I changed this to granting him a bridge pass for the team.
Yeah.
So that way it can be a little more obvious. Is the fishing all right? Did I kind of explain things well there?
I feel like, is it over-explained?
It's the boy's point of view. He's never seen it before. He's kind of just thinking about what he's seeing.
Well, Tresca's explaining to him what you do. She's telling him
And
how to
the
make
boy's
the pole.
no idea how to do this. So she's just kind of giving him the information. And it was really just a thing to kind of hit again the point that he and Draylin are connected in a special way.
Yeah.
Something's always going to be off if Draylin isn't around the boy.
There is
always
a
thinking about
sentence. The river was not far below them as he had gotten used to.
I think I changed it.
Oh, you did.
Read it again.
I did. I just read it as you changed because it used to. It was what it used to say.
It being maybe.
The boy saw several small creatures swimming in the river. They leapt out of the river to get a snack. Yum. Scroll down some more. Okay. He looked at Tresca, who seemed distracted. She nudged her to get her attention.
Where?
End of the sentence. Second full paragraph. Last line. Middle. Yep, you're almost there. The middle of this last line of that paragraph. There you go. Get rid of the she looked down. He nudged her to get her attention, is all you have to say. His hands asked, what is that man doing? Yeah.
Notice he took the vial of mind, but he isn't thinking it. He isn't speaking in his mind, and I think the reason why is because he's afraid of the power. He hasn't quite gotten used to it yet.
Yes.
It's not like in his instincts yet, and so it's just not where he goes to. He goes to his hands first, especially with those who can think with him, or can do that with him.
Right.
But it will come back. It's important that he has it.
She looked at her. I don't feel like. Are you well? Are they treating you well? Is a
He's
little
just
rough.
shooting out a bunch of questions. Yes.
Okay.
But there's a reason for that, and I can't exactly explain why. But you should know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just curious as if that was intentional or if you were. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just kind of it's spilling out of her is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
They came out so quick he only could answer the last one, and that's all he could think about. Was how much he missed Draylin.
Draylin is missing. He tackled Freylick when he was trying to take the boy. No, I think this one is a pretty good one.
I liked it. It was the first boy chapter I think I've done good at. Like at least a moderate amount of good, if not well. I don't know about the explaining it to the boy, but I feel like that's what Tresca would have done. She's agreeable. She'll just give you the answer.
Yeah.
She's not going to make you think about it. And she's not trying to figure out what you're thinking. She's just there and helping.
It's kind of funny. This reminded me, today I used sign language at work.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gentleman comes in, he's deaf. And we were talking a bit. And it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then my coworker's like, holy cow, you do so well. And I'm looking at it like, I have 5-year-old knowledge of this language.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing very poorly.
Yeah.
It may look great to you. But to the gentleman I'm speaking to, he's being patient.
It's like when the Hispanic person comes to the counter and can't really say anything, but he can say money or he can say numbers.
Gas.
Or gas, yeah, just enough to get his point across.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're doing.
Well, I was telling him, like,
as best you can.
You know, my husband's mom is an interpreter. Because I don't know mother-in-law.
My mother is an interpreter for the deaf. She has been my entire life, and she is currently a missionary in Africa for some ladies in Africa who are deaf.
Yeah. And then
She's
your sister's an interpreter, but I didn't know sister-in-law.
Both sisters can speak it fluently. One of them is a mother to a deaf boy.
To 2 deaf children.
Two deaf children.
Yes.
Adopted. And yeah, it's deep inside my family, but I don't speak it. Je parle français.
But it was nice to have that because I was able to have a little bit of a conversation with him.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to communicate.
The funny thing is the day he's been my regular for a while, and the day he learned I knew sign language was when I asked him if he wanted some candy on Halloween.
Oh.
And I said, "Do you want some candy?"
Because that's easy.
Because that's super easy.
You want candy?
And he goes, "You know how to sign?"
And you're like, no, I don't. I'm trying really hard though.
I'm like, very, 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 very little. And one thing I do okay with is sign language. Your facial expressions are really needed to be there to express what you're talking about. And I'm like, very, 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 and squinch up my face really tight.
She pounded that into our heads, my mother. It's all about the expression and not as much the hands. Although the hands are guiding it. Don't
Which was helpful because my till was broken.
Although I should stay in this story, I am using the word hand language instead of sign language because I have no intention of this being sign language. This is more closer to a code than it is in a language itself.
Right.
This is not a well-developed thing. Mm-hmm. But it gets the point across.
But it was great to have that because my till had broken. It's stalling.
That is an inconsistency with
and I was signing.
We'll get to that.
I was signing, waiting,
yeah,
waiting.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to tell him, sorry, I'm waiting. Yeah. It's just like sitting there waiting. Mm-hmm. And I was able to better communicate with somebody.
Now, speaking of communication, I think a good question would be, at what point should you give that much of an explanation if this isn't good enough? If you think this isn't good enough, I'm curious, when is it good enough to give that deep of an explanation to the boy? If I've gone too far.
If you have the rings on the rod, which...
You kind of have to secure the ring to the rod. Or secure the string to the rod.
You can say a special kind of rod.
Except for you would just conjure it and make it. There is no special kind of rod.
I guess that's true if he's ever going to... I guess it's very interesting. Very interesting. But that just brought it to my mind. They're able to communicate with the voice so much better, and he's flourishing because of it.
Exactly. That's how communication works, isn't it? The more you do it, the more you connect with someone, the better the bond is, the more you're connected. The more you care, the more they care.
Yeah.
But you got to stay connected.
That was a fun tidbit from work today.
All right.
And my till breaking for about 20 minutes.
Well, before this devolves into work talk, let's do the recap.
Recap! The boy is saved. Bye, Tresca. Goodbyes. The goodbyes of Flow and Force. Oh, I'm so ready for sleep. I'm so ready for sleep. Snow kicks the leaf. The goodbyes is what I said. They leave River's force.
That's the name of the city. River's Flow and the River's Force.
The boy sees someone fishing for the first time. And then a knoll brings some bad news before they head off.
I think bad news is good enough. Anything else to say before we close out?
I love you.
I love you too. And we love you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Have a good day.
Thanks for paying what little attention I get. I appreciate everything. Thank you all. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.